I'm not sure how bad I've messed up or not. If things have gone truly down the crapper, I suppose I can always rewind a bit. Let's just kinda hope that that doesn't come to that. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, we're both on edge. Okay. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. Aw, he's worried. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Oh, or maybe something else happened. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impax's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. Wait, what? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impax herself. It is a fake. Well, that is an interesting little wrinkle. Order, order, order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impax, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Cordia. Mr. Cordia? Well, well, who'da thunk of that? Looks like Miss Impax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that, and so that facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that On Guard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Yeah, wasn't he spying on the dude? The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. On Guard not to have known it was fake. Because of, like, all the stuff with the camera. What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera! Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. On Guard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't this correct? If that were true, then this means Mr. On Guard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Wah! So then the defendant knew this suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Good for delaying things, not so good when it comes to the whole... You know, he's obviously guilty thing. He's admitted it. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. On Guard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But Your Honor... Phooey, yeah, gross, sorry. It's not as if Mr. On Guard monitored Mr. Cordia 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. On Guard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Bracken! I still get some satisfaction out of that, even though I know I don't want this to actually go in my favor. Order, 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 Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like this time it's you who has dug his own grave. Bracken! As I figured. Eh? As you figured. As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. On Guard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine, I guess. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering? That's not like him at all. That's actually genuinely concerning. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? The witness is the one who is perfectly fit to answer, once and for all, the questions of who was it that hired Shelley DeKiller to commit murder. That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? It's... Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shelley DeKiller? 3, 2, 1. Wait! Shelley DeKiller? You mean the killer, or the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here, to the witness stand. Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this all right with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out, so... The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is all right to do this. Highly unorthodox. Very well, then. The prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? How did you even swing this? Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. The transceiver! Very good, sir. My name is Shelley DeKiller, and I am a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm? And what's the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. DeKiller will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I can't allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. DeKiller himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you're in fact Shelley DeKiller. I understand. Please wait a second. Not cool! Maya! A voice? Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley DeKiller. Looks like we've run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Yeah, we're talking to a radio with a serial killer on the other end. I know, he's an assassin, but that's just the fancy, kinda sane way of saying serial killer. For money. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Cordia. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Cordia. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelley DeKiller. What is he going to say? I don't know where this is going. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Okay. Huh. Mr. DeKiller seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. That's probably because he is. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, and make no mistake, he absolutely is, Mr. DeKiller is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? I'm already... I am not in a good state of mind, but alright, let's roll. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. No promises! Okay. This is actually really good. if it can go in the direction that I think it can. He's always going on and on and on and on. About, oh, I trust my client trusts me, it's confidentiality, and all that other jargon. But if I can maybe prove to him that, I mean, because Matt told us he recorded the assassin so he could blackmail him. So, like, he said that. If I could somehow tell him that and have him believe me, I think we can have our, like, actually have our cake and eat it too. Okay. Please elaborate. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that's why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the Dakilla name so my client can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before. But if it ever did... Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going with this. That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough, please, no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. Yeah, but what if that hypothetical is a literal? That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. Kind of the thing. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You... Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. What? Hey, whoa, Phoenix, why are you talking so much? The judge had better watch himself. Oh, me, oh, my. I feel like I've grasped the concept. We understand. So, please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniacal... It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Is this one of those situations where you have to repress something with new information? Provide this with fast and efficient. These are the roles and the duties. Oh, hang on, there we go. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. Yeah. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person. I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck, an assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your points, I think. Really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You've made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. Thank you. We have established this plot point. We will come back to it momentarily. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Did you add something? Oh yeah, there we go. Now then, I do believe it's about time I reveal the name of my client, don't you agree? What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness? What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Cordia? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews! What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier! He's lying! Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. In one hand, this is good. Save Maya. On one hand, this is bad. Murder man go free. This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Matt Ungard, perhaps. I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelley DeKiller. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Ungard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there's a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitely of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it's obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt Ungard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please, continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. But now, with the way this is going, Ungard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. DeKiller is lying. And Ungard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley DeKiller is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews. The suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button donning the Nickel Samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. This is... No. Mr. Wright! You know the truth! Tell them! Tell them the real story! Who the real killer is! Tell them! Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I believe we've reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide, oh no. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? I mean, I suppose it's possible he could still get here. What am I supposed to do? I don't... Maya told me that I had to do this. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt Ungard is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. Especially not an emotionally damaged, extraordinarily frightened woman. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than On Guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten On Guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we are allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. So what you gotta say about that? There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, assuming that my screw-up didn't screw everything up, and I'm sure that once those pieces arrive in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor! I won't question it! Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we'd like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are. Usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? Well, that and it's just an inherently depressing scene. As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the beginning that Juan Cordia was dead. That's a lie! But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. Huh. This is a most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now? Yeah, this has been a long trial. Not as long as the last one, but still a very long trial. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. What? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then it'll expose the lies in that oh-so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes 2 of us. That makes 3. Okay, well, here's the dilly. And it's a rather large dilly. We know for a fact that she did not. And I don't think contradicting... I don't know if this is a good thing. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. DeKiller. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Cordia had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? He wouldn't know about it because he was already long gone from the scene. He wouldn't know anything about the glass. Mr. DeKiller's supposed client thought Mr. Cordia had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. You should have chosen a bloodier method of killing. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? I say they nay! That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would have never left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what's your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? Methinks this assassin isn't used to being in conversations. It appears people with actual facts may be able to outsmart him. It's not a very important point anyway, correct? Cerebral! I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Cordia's death. If not, then that could only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. Why would she implicate herself in any regard? How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? If funny. Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Play along, play along, play along. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, hey! You're the one who's just, you said earlier. Anyway was a crutch of a word used by simple-minded people to change the conversation that they know they can't win. I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. Assuming I can... I don't even know, man. I don't know. If I had shown Edgeworth the right thing... It's one thing to trust Edgeworth in order to be able to prolong this trial as long as we can. It's another question entirely to ask for him to have figured out what I figured out, but accurately instead of stupidly like I did. Oh boy. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Alright. Request taking. Whew, okay. The request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. Okay. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Okay. Could you possibly, maybe, describe your client? If we can get you to describe some aspect of her person and you're wrong, we could be able to start pulling this apart. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with the brief pause? I'm guessing press further. Witness, I'd like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? Well, that stuff's traceable, yo. That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? That really wasn't what I was hoping for. I need you to describe. I need you to describe the witness, or your quote-unquote client. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him. Oh! Oh! Woo! It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was that testimony important? Yes, yes, it very much was. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. Here's a problem with what you just said. The problem that you just done said. She has lady parts! What do you got to say about that? I'd like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time? Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that's an impossible tale. If you're gonna try and tell me that she looks like a man, you're wrong. What? Shelley DeKiller? You've never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip up. About her. So what is the issue? Oh. What did you say just now? About her? If you'd ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she's a woman. Whoa! Oh, dang, the thing broke. Oh, wait, no, that was a reaction. Okay. Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he's never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, exactly. That's the point. Are you picking up what we're putting down? That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Andrews. Is that transceiver sweating giant globs of oil? Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Well, men can be named Adrian. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that whatever her Japanese name was also androgynous. Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Okay. Oh my god, I am my powers are transferring from Phoenix to Edgeworth. That's concerning. Huh. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. Wow. What is going on? Shelley DeKiller! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another? So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just gonna spit out more awful lies. Oh boy, okay. I know he's just gonna spit out the lies, but we gotta do this. Just keep on flying. Just keep on jamming all through the night. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. And I'm just lucky he hasn't realized what I'm doing yet. Yes, now I remember, I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. You know, that's an entire contradiction to your previous testimonies. The request was for the murder of Juan Cordia and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter. Didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. Which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. Can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. That's pretty much been his entire MO from the start. Let's begin the cross-examination. Okay. I feel like this is the best way to be able to start tearing it apart. 2 or 3 other small things. 2 or 3 other things? Yes. What were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Do I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Be that as it may, I gotta make some headway at some point. Whether or not they're related to this case whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Oh, I don't like where that. Oh, I think I may have made a. Uh-oh, Mr. Attorney. Yes. Everything I've said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you're planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one... Wait. Oh, this is not good. I shouldn't press my luck. It's the only thing we have. Oh boy. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what the other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Cordia's suitcase. And then what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client, otherwise known as Andrews in your story, okay? This information certainly sounds important to me. Included in your testimonial, as you wish. Okay. But there is, in fact, a problem with that. The only people that knew how to solve this puzzle, or even knew it was a puzzle to begin with, were the victim and Andrews. And her entire goal was to get the note so she could destroy it. But it's right here. Shelly to Killer? If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? You'll have to forgive me, I literally can't see what you're saying. I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? I need my beard fluffer. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimonial. I was going to burn it, for her sake. Or eat it, whatever. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Because as far as she knew, it was real. Z-snap formation. So that's where you two were going. Pack your bags, we're on a trip. So by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Who's constantly repairing this transceiver? This is even more baffling than Adrian Andrews having like 47 pairs of glasses. Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. Yes, I know. I'm actually trying to kind of rile you up about traitors because I have this real ham-dinger of a sentence for you. I just don't actually have really any way of making you believe me. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that is not. That's enough. If that is your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do. No. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. Absolutely not. No. Please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... This sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks! Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... Oh, what's that? The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even the prosecution... rests? What's going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? It appears Edgeworth has made the decision that Maya's life is more important than getting... Oh boy, that's a call he just chose to make. Well, I'd never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ungard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. Yes, I'm aware of the implications here. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant Matt Ungard to the stand. The items from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. I screwed up. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time's run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You've done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But that's technically not a crime. Which it should be, but I guess how do you try that? But at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Oh, dude, really? You're gonna play your hand now? So I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Ungard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap. It's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? That's what Maya said, but if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Ungard, is innocent. Yes, the man with the scars over his eye and is literally waving around some kind of giant beverage. and is chuckling maliciously to himself. Yes, clearly. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this. But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Engarde, is... We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Engarde, your client deserves an answer. Matt Engarde is... Whoa! Hello! What? Franziska von Karma? What are you doing here? Okay, hitting the... Ow! Oh! Oh, you beautiful whip-slinging succubi! I have never in a million years thought I'd be happy to see you, but you have the stuff. You did. I don't know how you knew, because I screwed that part up, but you knew! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. Is that his coat? What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. Okay, so what's in there? I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. Okay. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. And to think, so many people who have tried to be my enemy have helped me, whether intentionally or not. I mean, Franziska probably doesn't understand the stakes of all this entire situation and is probably thinking she's going to be able to rub Wright's loss in his face, but it doesn't really matter, doesn't matter. This is what I want. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? Yes, that's right, evidence. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? Anything? Probably. This trial's already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. Okay, but I understand your opinions and everything, but how about no? Your Honor, it's our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant you permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by DeKiller during his escape from the police. Must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. DeKiller left 3 pieces of evidence. Am I going to have to suss out which of the things is actually useful? Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there'll be something that'll turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does DeKiller's pistol have anything to do with this case? Okay, think it through. I assume he probably shot Von Karma with it. But there wasn't any gun related to the case in any regard. And for what I'm trying to accomplish, I don't think it's really gonna be much use. And I don't wanna step on any toes from near the judge and have him call things off, so let's move past. I'm pretty sure there was no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please present the next piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Question for more details. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh, yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. Wait, he came back? That's right. Looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from DeKiller. Shelly DeKiller is no ordinary man. Contents unknown, but violently tried to recover it, which means making sure that nobody saw it was probably part of his assassin deal. Likely, he doesn't even know it exists. Oh yeah! The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Well, I mean, that explains how he... I mean, I get how that... Yeah, okay, but like at the same time... No, I think the tape. I need the tape. I don't think that's gonna help us much at all. Thank you very much, Miss Von Karma. I think that's enough. That's all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. What is it that you thought, Honor? I'm sure, were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelly DeKiller's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Oh boy. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor! Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful! Absolutely splendid! This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? No, 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 no. No, 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 I can do this. Phoenix! I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? No, there is. You just gotta fight for it! You gotta kick destiny square in the teeth! I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You can't wait and sit on your thumbs. You gotta make magic happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. No matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first? Make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Ugh. The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he'll let his hostage go. Are you suggesting I try to make him feel remorse? That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force DeKiller to end his contract with On Guard. If DeKiller were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible! It's not, though. That's the crazy part. He's a man who values duty above his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it truly would be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what's always worked for us? The other side. Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? You beautiful, beautiful ghost lady! Okay, I got it. I know what to do. The person who needs the evidence. The defense's prosecution and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence, and that's how we have come to know the truth. There's one person who has yet to see them all. One still living in the dark. One still not entirely sure of this entire situation. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about a miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? Absolutely not. I've already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence. Then I won't show it to you! I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then, you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, I do. Very much so. Yes, Your Honor. Last request. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. Don't screw this up. Do not screw this up. That's impossible! To turn the situation around in one try? One try? That's all we will permit. I have to try to remember. I know what I gotta do. Everything that's happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking OnGuard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? Okay. Hands off the controller for a moment. I don't want to accidentally screw any part of this up. Okay. I need to show Shelly. I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you'd like to show this person. Okay. I would like him to see the contents of this tape. Because if he knew that his client recorded him in the attempt to blackmail him at a later date, I believe that would be grounds to finish things. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. All right! Okay, managed to convince him. Now I just have to convince the other guy. All right. Jogging in place. Keep your blood going. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence? Yes. One is all I need. I have here a videotape. What a videotape is doing in this day and age, I guess the game makers just weren't able to figure that out and predict the future, but whatever. I found it at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client to not watch it. So I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. In a bear. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews? Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt OnGuard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They, boom, boom, shakalaka boom, take that! Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the Killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I dare say that's all I needed to hear. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. So either he goes to prison, or he gets assassinated. I get it. This is how we turn the case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank God! This, trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, Actually, I'm sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness, and I kept working! Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. You'll see no complaints from me. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Mr. Enguarde, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You'll finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watched this video. Help me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do believe that it was you who once said that people are meant to be used. That you're above everyone, and that you'd never need anyone for any reason. Mister, you're up a certain creek and you have no paddle. So either get busy swimming in it, or get busy dying. Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright? You finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. I think this might be a trick question. I don't think he's gonna let me. Congratulations, Mr. Matt Engarde. Please, make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Matt Engarde. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Please wait. What's the matter? If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed. I'm Oh yes, I do believe that was very much worth it. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt Engarde? Other than lacerated, I've left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Joke's too obvious. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. Luckily for you, tampering with the scene of a crime is not nearly as horrible. The first time I was called to this witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. A word I am all but very much done with. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess he's trying to forgive him for what he did. Yeah, that was pretty screwed up. But I mean, ultimately it helped. After that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. So she can smile! She's adorable! I'm really happy that you two are in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Just doing my job. Looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that's good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. Gotta love that line of logic. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. Like that matters. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there's something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yeah, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. I remember. I can't count on the evidence anymore. Gotta listen to my heart. Do I side with justice or do I save Maya's life? The truth is more important than anything else. But if I can also save the hostage at the same time, then I'm totally going to do that too. Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then. And your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right! Edgeworth, hi, hello, that was loud. I have good news. Maya's now safe in police custody. What? Suddenly Pearl's back. Really? Pearls, you're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Oh, you did it. You really did it, Mr. Nick. She punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. I mean, I guess I was gonna say there's no need to cry. But you know what? Let it all out, kid. Thanks. Oh. What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. Yeah. About earlier? Thank you. And got whipped. Why are you still smiling? Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed! And yet, you're still happy? Y'all pretty, but y'all kinda stupid. I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you! Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remains spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner, and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. Huh, as well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense! We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach that one single truth. This, I promise you. The truth. Yes. That's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding, isn't that right? This man who had only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma? I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser! A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect! Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy! You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma! And neither am I! It's over! It's all over! Francesca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. She left her whip? Isn't that Miss Finn Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? I should? Okay. Nick! Maya! Hug the Maya! Do it! Do it! Hug the Maya! I am content! Oh, Nick, I knew you'd come through. You got Unguard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I'd never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever, whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I'd just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Can she do that? Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're all right. Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. That's quite the noise your gut just made. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grab a chow, I'm starved! Fair enough, you haven't eaten in a couple days. I'm so hungry even you look like food. Oh, no. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. I would have gone with celery, honestly. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. All right. I guess we'll just go to where we need to be. Aw, don't be silly, Nick. This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food! Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Oh my god, are you okay? Gumshoe! Are you alright? Wow, it is weird seeing you without your coat. Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I'd hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? And it wasn't a red light that got him. Well, at least no one else was hurt in the incident. You did it again, city boy! I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now, everyone gather around. Y'all gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating. Let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. That is true. Von Karma may have been the one to finally actually bring them to the court, but she wouldn't have been able to get her hands on those things, or even fully understood the importance of them without you. Ah, well, you know, it's... Oh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from DeKiller's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. Ah, but it wasn't tied up in the bag. Oh. There was a fourth item? Ah, come on, y'all, it's over. Oh boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had a rough gal. So where's that picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. Where is the picture? You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, it's all right. It wasn't anything important anyway. There is something important on that. I was kind of hoping for a Cyclock to show up on that one. Ah. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. Ah! That's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Well, that's because I think the bug is on the coat, not so much the gumshoe. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait! What? I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. Whoa, hello. Okay, an object? Okay. A card? Oh! Chances are, you're more likely to see her again than I am. And God, if I hate to admit it, she ain't Von Karma without it. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You. And her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth's left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya! Yes, Pearly? Yeah, okay, thanks a lot for that one, Pearl. You had to get one more shot in there. Pearly! Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me! Anyway. So who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick! Huh? Ah, yeah. I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. What? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. What? There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It'd be better buy anyhow for 3,000. What? Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Ah, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal, time to let it all out. This is gonna be the first time I hear the real you. Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. All right, then. If you say so. I was terrified to play this. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. I honest to goodness didn't think I would ever be able to match what I did with my Let's Play of the first game in this series. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which... Oh my goodness. So how did you even do that? My previous Let's Play was so popular and it defined my channel so strongly, I was worried that anything I did to follow it up would end up being a complete disappointment. Well, pal, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it! Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. So... I guess I just gotta ask, how did I do? Was this worth it? I, Maggie Bride, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm gonna be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by this restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. That pays significantly less than a police officer, but okay. I really enjoyed the game. I feel like I don't have to tell you that. Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Hottie. Hon hon. Recently, yes. That girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I even laid so much of an eye on her, I would go crack. Didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes. Hon hon. You are one seriously creepy Mama Gemma. I plan on playing every game in the Phoenix Wright series. Whether or not this was a high or a low, I don't know. It's time to begin our quest of World Circus domination! And to let the world know we are serious. I plan to make a fabulous fight over Zimbabwe? Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake? Or bunnies who can talk? I think that if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at Moe's jokes. Zambo. I think I did okay, and I can only hope that you enjoyed this series as much as I did. But with it done, I can go full force into the rest of them. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Moe Curls, represent. We've got our new act all worked out, too. Prepare for the Hallelujah Chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. There's one game left on this trilogy, and then there's all the ones that come after that. What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric razor recharging. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on making me do this? It's Edgeworth's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me? Would they? I was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy. Treat me like royalty and what have you. Now, the thing is, the future Phoenix Wright games, from what I can tell, are all on the 3DS. Now, that is a notoriously difficult game console to be able to record on. Despite that fact, I have every intention of still finding a way to do so. Sooner rather than later. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. That's oddly kind of her. Huh. It's become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. Ah, that time it stayed dead. I suppose that's all there really is to say. I'm kind of out of things to bring up. Where are you going, Franziska? How did you know I was here? With this. That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy, drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. It's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. I mean, he has a vague inclination. It was kind of an adopted son. A horrible, horrible father, but yeah. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius, there's no doubt about that, but me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to! You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Hey! I guess I gave him the right thing. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I had an idea. I'm gonna say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you'll think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth. I've always hated you. And then, finally my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics, isn't that right? Today you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. Whoa. That is painfully adorable! I love this series!